Persia, known today as Iran, has a long history of resisting foreign domination. Despite multiple attempts by Russia throughout the 19th century, Persia fiercely defended its independence. Let's delve deeper into the reasons why Russia's conquest attempts ultimately failed. And before starting the video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. National identity. Persians possess a strong sense of national identity, deeply rooted in their rich history and cultural heritage. This fostered a deep-seated resistance to foreign rule. Military prowess. While often facing a more modernized Russian army, the Persians were no pushovers. They employed effective guerrilla tactics in the mountainous terrain, inflicting heavy casualties on Russian forces. Leaders like Shah Abbas I, R. 1588–1629, modernized the Persian military, making them a formidable opponent. A landscape of obstacles. Mountainous challenges. The Caucasus region, a key battleground, presented a harsh environment for the Russians. Rugged mountains hindered troop movement and logistical support. Harsh winters further hampered Russian campaigns. Desert depths. Central Iran's vast deserts posed logistical nightmares. Supplying troops across these vast stretches proved incredibly difficult, weakening Russian forces and hindering their ability to sustain long campaigns. The Great Game and international pressures. British intervention. Persia fell within the sphere of influence of Great Britain, another major power of the time. Fearing Russian dominance in the region, Britain used both diplomatic and military pressure to limit Russian expansion. This included financial support for Persia and even threats of war against Russia. A wider conflict. Russia, aware of British opposition, hesitated to risk a wider conflict in pursuit of complete Persian conquest. The potential for a major war with Britain over Persia was a significant deterrent. Shifting Russian ambitions. Evolving priorities. Russia's focus wasn't solely on Persia. Throughout the 19th century, their attention shifted towards European affairs, conflicts with the Ottoman Empire, and expansion into Central Asia. These competing interests diverted resources away from a sustained Persian conquest. Cost-benefit analysis. Limited strategic value. While Persia possessed natural resources, the vast territory's strategic value wasn't entirely clear-cut. The cost of subduing and holding a potentially rebellious population with strong national identity might outweigh the gains. Diplomacy over domination. Treaties for territory. Russia eventually opted for a more pragmatic approach. Treaties like Gulistan, 1813, and Turkmenchay, 1828, secured control of strategically important border territories, achieving some expansionist goals without the full cost of conquest. Beyond the battlefield. Internal dissent. Russian expansion faced internal criticism as well. The cost of these wars, both human and financial, wasn't always popular with the Russian public. This further limited Russia's commitment to a full-scale Persian conquest. In conclusion, Russia's failure to conquer Persia stemmed from a complex interplay of factors. Persian resistance, the challenging terrain, international pressures, and Russia's own shifting priorities all contributed to the outcome. Ultimately, the Persians' unwavering defense of their homeland, coupled with the limitations of a full-scale conquest, led Russia to pursue a more diplomatic approach. While Russia never fully conquered Persia, their interactions throughout the 19th century had a lasting impact. Shifting borders and buffer zones. The Russo-Persian Wars resulted in territorial concessions by Persia. Treaties like Gulistan and Turkmenchay established new borders, giving Russia control of strategically important regions in the Caucasus. These buffer zones aimed to secure Russia's southern flank. The Great Game heats up. The struggle for influence in Persia intensified after these wars. Russia and Britain continued their rivalry, vying for political and economic dominance in the region. This became a key element of the Great Game, a broader competition for power between the two empires in Central Asia. Modernization and reform. The threat of Russian expansion spurred a period of modernization in Persia. Leaders like Emir Kabir, the Grand Vizier, attempted to reform the military, bureaucracy, and economy to strengthen the country against further encroachment. A legacy of mistrust. The 19th century conflicts left a legacy of suspicion and distrust between Russia and Persia, Iran. This would continue to influence their relations in the 20th and 21st centuries, shaping their foreign policies and regional alliances. The enduring Persian identity, the experience of resisting Russian conquest, further solidified the Persian national identity. This sense of resilience and self-determination continues to play a significant role in Iranian politics and foreign policy. Looking beyond conquest, the case of Russia and Persia highlights the limitations of military conquest in the face of strong national identity and challenging terrain. Diplomacy and economic influence sometimes prove more effective strategies in achieving long-term goals. Further exploration. This is just a glimpse into this complex historical relationship. You can delve deeper by exploring topics like the role of specific battles and leaders in the Russo-Persian Wars, the economic and cultural exchanges that occurred between Russia and Persia despite the conflicts, the long-term impact of the Great Game on the region. The narrative of Russia and Persia's relationship isn't solely about wars and borders. Beneath the clash of empires, a fascinating exchange of cultures and ideas took place. Literary influence. Russian literature, particularly the works of Pushkin and Lermontov, found a receptive audience in Persia. Translations sparked interest in Romanticism, and a new literary style emerged, blending Persian and European influences. Architectural cross-pollination. Russian architects, inspired by Islamic art, incorporated elements like domes and intricate tilework into some buildings. Conversely, Persian artisans found employment in Russia, influencing decorative styles in palaces and mosques. Diaspora communities. Trade and diplomacy led to the establishment of Russian and Persian communities in each other's territories. These communities facilitated cultural exchange, introducing new foods, customs, and ideas. The allure of education. Some Persian intellectuals traveled to Russia for education, particularly in science and engineering. This exchange of knowledge helped modernize Persia's infrastructure and educational system. A shared enemy. Despite their rivalry, both Russia and Persia faced a common threat in the form of the Ottoman Empire. This sometimes led to periods of cooperation, such as Persia's support for Russia during the Russo-Turkish War, 1828 to 1829. It's important to acknowledge that this exchange wasn't always equal. Russia, as the dominant power, often exerted a stronger cultural influence. However, Persia also left its mark, adding a unique flavor to Russian art and architecture. The weight of history. Understanding the historical relationship between Russia and Persia is crucial for comprehending their interactions today. The legacy of wars, territorial disputes, and cultural exchange continues to shape their political and diplomatic approaches. A look ahead. While the shadow of past conflicts persists, there are also opportunities for cooperation in the 21st century. Both Russia and Iran, Persia, share concerns about regional security and energy resources. Finding common ground and fostering a more collaborative relationship will be key to navigating the complex geopolitical landscape of the region. The historical relationship between Russia and Iran, Persia, is a complex dance of conflict, cooperation, and cultural exchange. Looking ahead, several factors will likely influence their future interactions. The enduring shadow of the past. Historical memories, both of cooperation and conflict, can shape present-day policies. Understanding these historical narratives is crucial for fostering trust and avoiding misunderstandings. The regional chessboard. Both Russia and Iran are major players in a strategically important region. Their approaches to issues like security, energy resources, and political influence in neighboring countries will continue to impact their bilateral relationship. The global landscape. The rise of other powers like China and the United States will influence Russia and Iran's strategic calculations. They might find common ground in the face of perceived pressure from these external actors. Economic ties. Despite political tensions, economic ties between Russia and Iran have grown in recent years, particularly in the energy sector. The need for economic diversification on both sides could lead to further cooperation. Nuclear developments. Iran's nuclear program remains a major point of contention between Iran and the West, including Russia. Russia's position on the issue could significantly impact regional stability and its relationship with Iran. The role of diplomacy. Maintaining open channels of communication and fostering diplomatic engagement will be essential for navigating these complexities. Finding areas of common interest and building trust will be key to a more stable and productive relationship. Unforeseen events. The ever-changing global landscape means unforeseen events could dramatically impact the relationship between Russia and Iran. Their ability to adapt and find common ground in the face of these challenges will be crucial. Conclusion: the relationship between Russia and Iran is a fascinating and complex story, shaped by centuries of interaction. Understanding the historical context, recognizing the ongoing regional dynamics, and acknowledging the potential for both cooperation and conflict will be vital in navigating the future of this critical relationship.